making these ends. I'm that brother who you, I'm that brother who you, trying to kill my crew, trying to kill my team.
Hey guys, Bicana here, bringing you guys another GTA 5 video, and today we have the top 10 fastest supercars around my brand new testing track, which is Spectator's Magic. And the simple rules are, as you can clearly see on the screen, we did 10 laps in total in each car. The wheel type were tuners, specifically Rallymaster wheels. The time was in the day and the weather was clear, and the main purpose is to keep the same racing line throughout every single supercar to make it as fair as possible. But this is a new series that I'm bringing. I'm going to show the top 10 cars in this video, top 10 supercars to be exact in this video, and we're going to have the top 10 sports cars in a future video in the near coming weeks for that video to drop. But we're just going to get straight into it, guys, and let's go. We have in 10th position the Entity XF, which sets a lap time of 1 minute 23.75. This is the 10th fastest supercar around Spectator's Magic, which is a track, like I said, I made a couple of videos in the past on this when I first revealed this series coming along. It's more of a track that requires speed carry. You know, you've got the first half of the track here, as you can see, you've got some sort of city-based tight turns left, right. You've got that really ballsy hairpin at the start, and then the last half of the track is basically going through the mountains, you know, making a car not understeer, because this section here is basically testing a car's understeer performance and, you know, trying to eliminate that as possible. So the perfect balance, and the Entity is a really strong car in the supercar class. Unfortunately, the only thing it does lack is a slight bit of pace nowadays, because the handling is fantastic. As we know, it's four-wheel drive, but it's a slight bias four-wheel drive, as in more of the power is sent to the back rather than, you know, being a 50-50 distribution. But yeah, it's really good, but it can understeer, especially in these sort of tight turns, as you can see. But it does set a really respectable lap time, and it beats some of the other supercars such as the 811 on there, which actually didn't even make it into the top 10. Next up, we have the legendary Turismo R, the Grotti Turismo R, which got a time of 1 minute 23.31. Now, this car is about handling. This car is not about pure pace. This car is not about acceleration or top speed, because it doesn't really succeed in any of those categories. You know, it's not the best in acceleration, it's not the best in top speed. What it does deliver is supreme handling and balance. This car is really nice to drive on pretty much any track within the game, right? Any track within the game, this car is just a dominant car, and I think, you know, people respect it so much because it handles really nicely. Rear wheel drive car, it can snap every now and again if you push it too hard, but then that's what we like in the car. We like it to be a bit unpredictable, but it feels light, it feels nimble, it feels just like a, you know, like a house fly. It just wants to dart in and out of corners. Bumps can upset it, but at the end of the day, if you control it with some throttle control, you'll just be able to execute the car really nicely, and, you know, you'll still be able to compete with the more traditional supercars that you'll see in this video. But the Turismo R, like I said, is the 9th fastest supercar around this test track here, which is Spectator's Magic. Like I said, I will be leaving a link to Bruffy's video, because he does more of a city-based track testing, so it's always a good reference to get the two now on there. Up next, in 8th position, we have the FMJ, the sort of new supercar to come into GTA Online, which was released in June this year. The FMJ is basically how I see it as a next generation Turismo. It's got supreme traction, pretty much more than the Turismo. It's dominant in airport races, and where the Turismo doesn't have the top speed, this car has the top speed. Like, it can pull away from near enough every supercar in the game, apart from obviously the later generation supercars that I will be demonstrating. But traditional supercars such as, you know, the Turismo, the Osiris and things like that, this car has got a supreme top speed for that, and with it being, you know, again, rear wheel drive, it just handles really nicely. The amount of traction levels is on point, and it's just a really nice car. I actually made a video about this car, how it's actually worth the money, because I think it's $1.7 million in game, which, to be fair, for a supercar is not too bad, you know, considering it's actually worth it, and it actually does feel nice, looks nice, and performs really well on a vast majority of tracks. It's really good. So it's the 8th fastest supercar in this track, or on this track. And like I said, if you haven't got it already, go buy the car, because it's absolutely bloody fantastic, mate. Up next, we have, again, another legendary supercar that broke the barrier from the Zentorno, when the Zentorno was the dominant supercar on there. But this is the Osiris, and sets a lap time of 1:23.1. Now, the Osiris, I actually expected more from this car on this particular track. It's 4-wheel drive, it's got a good amount of top speed, it's got really good acceleration because it being 4-wheel drive, but it just feels a bit fat on these tight turns, and it does understeer quite a lot on the sort of downhill section of the mountain, which you'll see in a little bit. So that always is going to upset lap times. The other thing as well with the Osiris is, again, it's 1.9 million, which again is, you know, at the time it was very expensive, but considering to most supercars now, it's actually, well, it's not too bad, considering it is you know, a fast car at the end of the day. But it's a car that I expected just a bit more from this track. I thought it was going to be really good, especially down this section here. It just didn't really grip, and it didn't really allow me to put the full power down, because it would just oversteer and then it would just snap. And this tight little chicane here, it did sort of struggle a little bit on there. But anyway, it got a lap time. It got a very respectable lap time of 1:23.1. It's the 7th fastest supercar in the game. Now, up next, we have, which I caught by surprise, the Zentorno, right? Zentorno, okay? Zentorno being the most, I think nowadays, the most respected car in the game. Literally the most respected car in the game, because when this car came out back in 2014, do you remember, with like the content creator, it was like, whoa, Rockstar have broke the game, it's too quick compared to the Entity and, you know, and the Turismo. And for a while, people just used to abuse the car and use it, and then it got a bit boring to use. But then since Next Gen arrived, they actually tweaked the handling. It now sort of flicks out under braking, the back end kicks out. It's a bit harder to drive, but then it's so rewarding. And I think I speak for most people on this subject, right? The Zentorno is got to be one of the most fun cars in the game to actually race with. You know, and that's saying something, because like I said, the Turismo and the FMJ, I think, are fantastic cars to drive. But the Zentorno, if you're in a racing battle, it's really good. You know, 4-wheel drive, shoots out of corners, good acceleration. Not the best top speed, but shoots out of corners, and it's just nimble. It's just really darty. Still looks the part, and it's a fantastic car. It's the 6th fastest supercar on this particular track, which, you know, you've got to give it a handshake to that car. You've got to give it a handshake. Up next, we have the X80 Proto. Now, this car here is a touchy car, because I made a video about this car when it first launched, right, of how I didn't get along with it, and I thought it was, you know, it's just a waste of money. And guess what? I still think it's a massive waste of money, because this is the most expensive car in the game at 2.7 million, right? And it's the 5th fastest car in the game. When this car got launched, it looks like an alien that's given birth to like a plane or an F1 car from the back. And we all expected to do, you know, create major lap times with it, smash records with it, have that car that's just going to be OP in races, but it's not. It understeers a lot. It's too big for certain types of roads, and you know, on GTA, as you can see here, it's really light. So when you go over bumps and when you go over tracks that have got a bit of elevation, the car just sort of skips. It doesn't get the traction down, so it just like bounces along. And it just doesn't grip. It just does not grip. It's quick in a straight line. It's quick in acceleration. It sounds pretty nice, but it looks like a back to front F1 car. And for that reason, it's just not a car that I would recommend to actually go out and buy, especially for not 2.7 million when there's cheaper cars which are actually faster, look better, and able to give you more of a pleasurable driving experience. In 5th place, right, we have the T20, another car that we sort of had major respect for when it first came out, because when the Osiris came out, we were like, okay, fastest car in the game, you know, Osiris is beating the Zentorno. That didn't last long because the T20 broke the Osiris's, like, you know, sort of record in literally 2 weeks, because these cars were released within 2 weeks of each other. So the T20 just broke its limelight and just said, you know what, middle finger to you, thumbs up to me, I am the fastest car in the game. And it was, and to be fair with you, it still is the fastest normal sort of supercar, because when I say normal, I mean a car that's actually like a road car supercar. As you'll see in the video coming up, you'll see the changes that GTA 5 has developed, but it's a fantastic car, guys. I would never sell this car in the game because it's just a really nice car to drive. You know, it costs, I think it's 2.1 million, so not the most expensive car, but it did give you the option, well, not the option, but it did have the active wing, which was a first for any car in the game. So that was actually really cool how Rockstar did that. So 4th fastest car, 122.8, great traction, great acceleration of it being 4-wheel drive, but fantastic car on a track like this. In 3rd place, we have the most recent supercar in the game, right? ETR1. This is basically just broken the sort of margin between the T20 and, you know, the next car, because a 119 is an astonishing time, considering, you know, the supercars like the Zentorno and the T20 were like getting 122, 23s. This car comes along, right, and gets a 1:19, and the reason being, it's just got so much traction. You know, Rockstar have just engineered these cars to actually have so much traction in the game, and it just feels like a proper arcade like car. It's just one of those racing games that you're on holiday, or you're in the sort of shopping centre and you see those car racing games like Fast and Furious. You go around the corner at 300 miles an hour and you just, you know, you nitrous it round the corner. It feels like that. I'm not going to be, it feels a bit fake. It feels a bit easy, and it don't really reward you. But it's, again, you know, it's what you like, and, you know, we've got to accept that there's these type of cars in the game. Possibly, yes, Rockstar should have put this type of car in a different class, such as a race car class, but that's just something we've got to live with. So it gets a 1:19.154, 3rd fastest supercar, until this car comes along. This is the Tyrus, right, which brings 1:18.6 to the table, right? 1:18.6, and I made a video about this car quite recently, how it's actually an amazing car to drive, even though it's got so much traction and feels like the ETR1, a bit fake, a bit sort of arcadey, like proper arcadey. It does feel the best out of these sort of new generation supercars, and it's like I said, it's like a McLaren F1 back in the day. Really nice looking car, quite a long car but very thin, but great on these type of roads where you can actually, these type of cars, right, on city tracks with tight turns, they don't do well. They understeer and they're actually quite rubbish, right? Once you start picking up the speed, and once you start getting into like 3rd, 4th gear and going flat out, you get actually more traction. It's a bit like real life, you know, the faster you go, the more downforce your car's creating, allowing you to go faster through the corner. That's what these cars are doing. That's what you've got to remember. So on tracks like this, where you've got fast corners and fast roads, you're actually going to benefit more in a car like this than you are in a track like, for example, you know, that's just got like tight hairpins on there. Like the first half of the track on this car wasn't actually that quicker than a T20. As soon as they got into the next bit, that was it, and that was it. RE7B confirmed the fastest car in GTA 5. 1:15. Let's just think about that. 1:15 right? The ETR1 got a 1 minute 19. We thought, okay. The Tyrus, a 1 minute 18. Okay, mate, calm down. You know, get your hand and walk off. This guy got a 1 minute 15.9. And this again was with tuner wheels. This is not with any glitch or anything like that. This is the fastest car in the game by some margin, right? By some margin. I mean, it's just absolutely insane how fast this car is. You don't brake in this car. You literally don't brake in this car. And like I said, the faster you go, the more downforce it has. So then you don't even have to brake even more. So it's just basically bending laws of physics within the game. But it's you know, it's the fastest car. We've got to respect that. It's, like I said, it's like a Le Mans style car. Again, it should have been in a race class. But, you know, we have to accept that from Rockstar and what they've done. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you the difference between a like road supercar and the sort of i7B of what the fastest cars are like. As you can see here, they both start, and they're both quite similar in sort of the first section of the track. Okay, the RE7B has got a lot more power, so it's going to pull away, but it's not majorly differently. But now, as the time goes on throughout the track, the RE7B is basically just pulling. It's like the T20 is broken, it's in limp mode, and it's just not working properly. It's crazy to see the difference between a year in GTA Online. Last year the T20 came out, this time fastest car in the game. Roll on 360 days and the RE7B is the fastest car in the game. But not only just by a second or two, by, I mean, 1 minute 15, guys, it's like 7 seconds quicker than a T20. 7 seconds around a 1 minute 20-ish on average track. So it's just a different class whatsoever. But guys, this is the fastest car in the game, the RE7B. Thank you so much for watching if you stuck through this video. I really do appreciate it. Like I said, the sports car comparison will be up next. I've got to do all that for you guys. But hopefully you guys enjoyed, and you know, you can go back on this video and check which cars are best suited for you. Anyway guys, like I said, massive support on the channel recently. Thank you so much for over 15,000 subscribers, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers.